We are talking about Islamic banking, Sharia compliant banking, and Swale Osoro, who is the Sharia manager at KCB Bank, was just going to tell us about liquidity, because you did mention it and you said that it's easier, especially for people who are seeking finances, who are Muslims, to come to KCB because it's more liquid. How exactly does that work?
Thank you very much once again. You look at KCB Bank because of the regulatory framework of CBK regulations that you cannot finance, the obligor limit, you cannot finance to one customer to a quarter of your asset, of the core capital.
Right.
And this one is actually brings in because at KCB Bank we are over $1 trillion of the worth of assets, and therefore for one person to come in to seek for financing, you realize that is a very big, that's a very large balance sheet. Right. And therefore this one gives us actually a leverage that we are able to finance a customer. And in very rare cases will maybe a customer come in to seek financing for over maybe $500 billion. It cannot actually happen for one customer.
Right.
Therefore we find that at the level that where we are, for us to be able to do business, you require to have money. You require to be liquid for you to be able to finance those customers who come in with various needs that they require to be able to meet their financial engagements at the end of the day. Therefore, this availability of resources in terms of capital that we have, in terms of money that we have, therefore, gives us an appetite to be able to finance. You come in as a consumer, you are a salaried person, you come in, you want consumer finance, we are able to take care of you. You are a small businessman at micro level, we are able to take care of you. You are a big corporate at the corporate level. You want billions of shillings, we are also able to take care of you because the statutory regulations we meet, the ratios are all fine, and the balance sheet is up to date, that we are able to finance any customer who comes in with any financial need that we will be able to do. And in case of any other need that may be quite big, we can even syndicate with other banks, but that has not, we have not really arrived there because we don't have big projects that actually are financed that require that. But as where we are right now, any customer who comes in, we are able to meet their financial obligation, because that is the key issue that is supposed to be met in banking, because you've seen other banks go down due to lack of liquidity. They come to withdraw their funds, but they're not able to withdraw because there's no money. But at our bank, you can be able to withdraw on any platform that you want. You can be able to seek for financing at any branch that you walk in, and we shall be able to meet your financial needs whenever you need them. Right.
Swale, you said any customer can get this. And I have friends who are not Muslims who keep saying, you know, Islamic financing and Islamic banking sounds like such a good thing, and I would love to partake in it, but they feel like it's exclusively for Muslims. Can you just maybe clarify and demystify that for us?
Oh, thank you very much. This is also a very, very good point, because most of the customers have asked us when we go to customer engagement forums, actually, we are non-Muslims, are we able to come and be and get the finances that we require? Are we able to partake your products? And we say, yes, it's available for everybody. And I've always given our customers examples of the halal restaurants that we have in town. Right now in town, we have a lot of halal restaurants. Of course, they target Muslims. But at the end of the day, when you go to that hotel to partake food, no one will chase you away to ask you your religion. Because we are here to serve the halal food. But here at the banking sector, we're here to serve the halal product propositions, products and services that are halal, meaning they adhere to certain principles that are supposed to be followed. Processes that are in line with somebody's faith, but they don't discriminate in terms of gender, in terms of religion, in terms of maybe somebody's skin concoction. We don't do that. We actually come in to finance. We are coming in to offer a solution to humanity. Therefore, any person who is called a human being, then you are really welcome to be able to be served, irrespective of your faith.
That means that even you, if you're not a Muslim, if you do not identify with the Islamic faith, but you do like Islamic financing, you can partake in Islamic banking. Hamid, maybe if you could just tell us, when it comes to, you know, the Qadi, you know, they do come in when there are issues, or when there is a customer who may not necessarily like the way that they have been served. When it comes to the Qadi and, you know, some of the Islamic scholars, do you have their support? Do they come in when there is, you know, a dispute between you and your customers? How do you handle disputes?
Thank you. I think we are governed by the Sharia law, as we spoke, and there is the scholars. We call the Sharia Advisory Council. Some people call them Sharia Board. These scholars guide us on our day-to-day operations in terms of the products and the different contracts that we make under the Islamic banking. And whenever there's a dispute, and there will always be disputes, they always also come in, because we refer these cases, or sometimes customers go to them straight to say there's this matter and they actually come in strongly because they have a full understanding of the Islamic transactions, what we call fiqh muamalat, to guide on how to do it. And they have been, I would call a safe haven for us in terms of any dispute. And so far, they've handled it pretty well.
Right.
Yes.
Salah, do you share the same sentiments, especially when it comes to dispute management, when customers come in and maybe you don't agree on certain things, or maybe repayment is an issue? How exactly do you handle that?
Basically, at KCB Bank, since we started, we've not had quite major battles that have gone to court. But of course, at times they find their way to court due to one reason or another.
Right.
But some cases I've had where we have the out-of-court, settlement or alternative dispute resolution mechanisms that have been adopted. And actually, the scholars come in handy in that they're able to talk to these particular customers. And in most cases, what we've had done is that when customers come to us and they don't seem to understand how we do our operations, we refer them to the scholar so that they come in when they have full knowledge of what they're coming to do or how the transaction is going to take place. So they do it before, they come in for the financing, and then they're able to understand how this moves ahead. Then, of course, we do customer engagements with our scholars, and they're able to talk to our customers. And through that particular engagement and forums of discussion, they're able to iron out the issues that they could be having. And at times we find that it's basically maybe knowledge gap from the side of the customer, not being able to understand what Sharia entails and how it's supposed to operate.
Right.
Exactly.
And I'm sure that confusion also comes in sometimes when you are dealing with some of your employees.
Yes.
Now, Sharia banking does have its tenets, it has its own rules, and it's important for the employees who are going to be handling these customers to understand this.
Yes.
How exactly do you handle, employee capacity building? Do you, have classes, special classes for it? How do you handle that?
Okay, thank you. I think the most important thing for us is to mention that we have employees across all religious divides.
Right.
So not all our employees, even under Sahel, are Muslims.
Right.
So the starting point is that we need to do a lot of capacity building in terms of creating knowledge for the staffs that are handling our customers. And as my colleague mentioned, that Sahel products are sold across all the over 200 branches at KCB.
Right.
This means that if you walk in any branch, even if you don't meet a Sahel-specific employee, we've given them basic knowledge to be able to handle your issues. In case there's any technical aspect that probably they cannot handle at that level, then we are here to provide from the department. Swale, myself, and the people at head office. So we can say that our staff, the whole staff, customer-facing staff, have close to 70% understanding of what Islamic banking is, to be able to comfortably deal with customers. But the cases that are beyond them, we always, they refer to us, and we handle them, we support them on that. So we do a lot of town halls for employees. We have a lot of even internal trainings, both virtual, online, physical. We do for ourselves to build their capacity to be able to comfortably handle these products and queries that come from customers end to end.
Right.
Yes.
Now, Islamic banking is a new frontier. So that means that, you will stumble a little bit, you'll make new products, the products might not work, you'll go back to the drawing board, and so on and so forth. When it comes to this, Swale, maybe if you could just tell us, what are some of the challenges you've faced, the growth challenges that you've faced when it comes to meeting client needs and customer needs, and how do you package whatever needs that they would need you to, solve for them?
Thank you very much once again for this other difficult question. How do we package the products to make them, to fit in the customers? Because the customer is king, as we are told. But also, on the other hand, we have to follow the Sharia tenets. And actually, to be very honest, it has been a challenge. Because here comes in a customer who wants to be served Sharia-compliant products in a conventional way.
Right.
You see, in that he or she wants to get exactly how he gets a product at a conventional part of it. So we find that we have to package it in a manner that, or look for a contract, a Sharia-compliant contract, that is going to be able to make the customer feel comfortable, to make the customer have what he or she wants, but again also meet the Sharia requirements. Therefore, this one comes in, it brings in a lot of, actually even training on the part of the customer.
Right.
To make the customer understand that actually, when we talk about doing Amrabaha to pay directly to the vendor, for you to go and pick the goods from the vendor, actually we are talking about aspect of us purchasing and then selling to you at a markup. So the customer has to understand. But again, the customer again who wants money, tell no, I want cash maybe myself. So we have again to devise a contract that is going to be able to enable the customer actually access the cash as he or she would require. Therefore, you find that there is a very tough element between balancing the customer needs. Of course, we are customer-centric because we exist because of the customer, to serve the customer, and also the Sharia needs that we need to meet. And therefore, that's why we normally have actually quarterly Sharia board meetings to be able to tailor products that are going to be in line with Sharia and also tell them the challenge that we are facing from the customers so that we are able to iron out and be on the same platform. Actually, it's a great job.
Right, because Swale said that I ask him difficult questions. Now it's time to ask you a fairly difficult question.
Yes.
You are the head of SAL banking, and of course it is your job to make customers understand that some of these packages might not conveniently solve their problems, right?
Yes.
How exactly do you do that? How do you go around some of the Islamic rules to ensure that whatever the customer wants, the customer gets, but you know, it is good in the eyes of God as well?
I think the key principle in Islamic bank is about Sharia compliance.
Right.
So sometimes, unfortunately, if the request is not Sharia compliant, probably in terms of the investment area they want to do, we will be happy to tell them that we do not offer this under Islamic banking. However, considering that we are in a market that customers have different needs, and our work is to give solutions. So we solution customer according to the different contracts as he spoke. So we are privileged that because we are operating in a market that there are other developed markets, Malaysia and all that, and also guided by some standards about AOFI. It is what to use for each customer need. So we have, I will say, almost products that mirror the conventional side, almost 100, maybe over 90%. So there isn't a case I am aware of a customer who will come to us and is looking for a specific solution that we miss into our Sharia compliant product basket. So we do a lot of, and I think just to what you mentioned about challenges. The biggest challenge that we have is we need to demystify the whole aspect of Islamic banking. When we say it's interest-free banking, the notion that customers get that when we give you 1 million, then you get back 1 million. So honestly, then we will not be in business. The only thing is that we are talking about, it is not interest, we're going to profit. Others argue and say there's no difference between interest and profit. And we just try to coin the whole aspect, and which is not true. Because we also now, we start with a lot of educating those customers to see the difference. And actually, later on, they come to appreciate. Because we have, when our Sharia board is looking at what we have done, I think we are answerable not only to the Sharia board, but we are answerable to Allah. So if I sit down with a customer to make him understand that, okay, this one, we do this because this is how the teachings, how it is done in the market. There's sometimes people who come with a different view, they come and settle down and we do business with them. And that explains the trust the customers have had. By the way, we are the biggest Islamic bank in terms of the market in this country. We occupy a market share of around 32%. Nobody else is doing that. So that is something that we also have a strength in us. So we have a wide customer base of whom we have learned a lot also in terms of how to solution them. And the product basket is not comparable to any, because these many customers compared to the that we have, we must look for different solutions, personalized solutions to all of them. And they have so far given, because we talk about deposits in excess of 21 billion. And that's a trust that these customers have with us. It couldn't have happened so if they don't believe in our products. And in they say it in Kiswahili, kurudisha mkono. We support their businesses as well. So we have given out in almost 19, actually 20 billion for them to also invest in Sharia compliant investment options. So we share profit and they're happy. They've made something out of it. We've made something out of it. Then we are in business.
Everyone is happy at the end.
Sure, yes.
There's something that Hamed has said, Swale, that is very interesting. That a lot of people have the notion that if it's Islamic banking and I want 1 million shillings, I only get to give you back 1 million shillings, right? There are divergent, issues or divergent thoughts on what exactly Sharia banking is. And maybe some of the people who come to you say that, no, this is Sharia banking. Whatever you're doing is not Sharia banking. Exactly. How exactly do you, cohesively bring those thoughts together and ensure that some of your customers understand how exactly these things work?
Exactly. That's now a good question.
Right.
It's now very easy. That one is that's now easy today. Thank you. Yeah, because we're just trying to bring about actually what's the difference, the perspective of how the customers view,
right.
perspective of how we view from a business perspective. Yes. And this is very easy. We normally tell our customers, basically those ones who are in business. You are in business yourself.
Right.
You're doing business yourself. And at the end of the day, you expect to make a return in that business. You expect to make income. Therefore, why should we give you 1 million to go and put in your business,
right.
make income, and we wait for you for 12 months and return back 1 million to us? He says,
right.
yeah, that one does not make sense because if I'm in business, then I should also get a return.
Right.
So actually, you try to put them in your shoe.
Right.
That actually we are also here to do business with you. Therefore, there's no way we're going to give you 1 million shillings.
Right.
You stay with it for 6 months and then bring back 1 million shillings. Even the inflation rate will have hit that particular amount of money.
Right.
That what you used to purchase with 1 million shillings then, 6 months ago, you may not even be able to get it maybe today.
Right.
And that's what we tell our customers, that even these goods, like we talk about buying and selling to our customers, like the business stock. So we buy this business stock and then sell to you. You as a customer, you're going to sell this business stock to the market, to the consumer. You make income. You make good money from what you're going to sell.
Right.
Because you can't buy this water at 100 shillings and sell it at 100 shillings. Then that's not business. But when you sell it at a markup of 120, then you've made a profit of 20 shillings. You are happy. Then, okay, give us 10 shillings then as a bank because we financed you.
Right.
We gave you equity in your business. You've grown your business. You've expanded your business. You've made an earning out of it. And let us also earn out of what you've really earned.
Right.
So they actually understand when you bring that particular perspective of getting stock from you, selling it, or even a person who has come to seek for finance for a laptop. Just simple, basic, from a consumer perspective.
Right.
Or a car. He's going to use this car to move around, to do his own business, or from work to home, conveniently, not being rained on, not queuing,
right.
Or having a laptop, doing your business from home, doing your meetings from home.
Right.
And then you're able to create value out of it.
Right.
Therefore, they're able to understand, yes, indeed, we are able to pay a return on this particular value that you are gaining from the bank financing. Therefore, we're able to argue with them. But then we tell them that, of course, that contract that they know of, it's called Qard Hasan, actually a benevolent loan of not giving a return. It's only one out of maybe hundreds of thousands of other contracts that we normally have from a Sharia perspective. So we tell them, you should not just only know one, but there are also others on the other side that can also be very beneficial to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting sentiments. Hamid, what is a logical markup? Because I'm assuming since, Islamic banking is quite new, a lot of people who are not necessarily even looking into the logical perspective could make an interesting markup because there isn't a market rate. Each bank sets its own markup. And as Swale has said, the shilling does, the value decreases by around 12% per year. So you need to be making money that is logical, but a markup that will not be squeezing your customers. How exactly do you calculate that?
I didn't know you'll turn to me with a tough question after Saleh.
I have to be fair.
To be fair. And Islamic bank is about fairness.
Right.
For sure, the pricing for the investments or the financing that we do has several other components. Remember, we spoke that Islamic bank is about profit and loss sharing.
Right.
The first question I will ask myself, where did I get this money that I financed you? And this is money that was brought to me by Swale, who is also a client. And he could also have given me money so that I invest in Sharia compliant activities and share profit with him. Now this money, I give it to you to do your business. Right. So the cost of funds also determines how I price my financing to you. And of course, we also look at the market because we're operating in a market that is, though it's not, there's no strict, it was like a markup of say profit rate of 13% as it was and is capped. Right. So there's a risk-based financing program that we look at. How risky are you? Right. If I find that you have been financed with other banks before, and you're on CRB showing that you don't pay your finance well. So I will price you differently.
Right.
But I'll give an incentive to him who has a very excellent performance, because when I'm giving you this money, which belongs to him, there is a risk of losing it, and yet he wants this money. So it varies from customer to customer, but we try to control it to be able within, because we do not want to overcharge, because it's about social welfare. So we want to contribute to your economy, but we also give us back so that we can share with the investors who are our customers who have given us these deposits. So it's a question of who are we lending to, which sector are we financing, okay? And we look at character. What is the character of the person we are financing? That determines how we price these facilities. Yes.
And you know, even in the government, they were looking into behavioral assessment when it comes to, you know, a hustler fund. They were looking at the behavior, the repayment behavior, then, you know, trying to see how exactly they could finance this person even further. Now, Swale, what would you say is a logical markup? Because we will find that there are some people who are not necessarily even looking towards the beneficial aspect of Islamic banking, who may come and tell people who might not have the best knowledge in Islamic banking and tell them this is the markup, but it's even higher than the conventional banking sector. How exactly do you balance that?
Oh, thank you very much. This one is, how we do it in the sector is that, you know, there is a market. We are in the same market. And if you talk about a market, we mean a place that business is done. If you go to sell, you know, cattle in a livestock market, you'll price, you look at the price in the market, then that's how you'll price your goods. If you go to the marketplace and you're selling fast-moving consumer goods, you look at the practice in the market. And here in the banking sector, we are looking at the practice in the banking sector. And remember that the practice in the banking sector is that, of course, we have the CBK, who is the regulator, who gives the best rate and how that kind of thing. Therefore, we are able to benchmark that if the CBK has set its particular rate and this particular level, then what kind of markup as a bank will be able to put it, a reasonable markup, so that it's able to play in the market. Therefore, we're looking at our counterparts, the same banks in the same locality, in the same market. How are they pricing their products in relation to the CBK best rate? So from there, we are able to do our pricing. Basically, we benchmark on the best practice in the market. See that we cannot be a lower. Maybe people say that Islamic banking is cheap. No, it doesn't mean that it has to be cheap for it to be Islamic at the end of the day. We've not been told to be cheap anywhere. It's only that a notion that we have to be cheap. But in essence, we have to benchmark with the best practices in the market and how best pricing is, because even from a Sharia perspective, we don't have a Sharia control aspect from a Sharia teaching from the Prophet, peace be upon him, because the market will regulate itself. When the demand is high, definitely, the prices will go high. And when the demand is low, of course, the prices will move low. And that one depends now, like in our Kenyan market right now, if you look at the bonds, for example, that price maybe right now at 18% as a return. So therefore, if banks are not going to give the customers a return that is higher than that, customers will rush to the bonds. Therefore, for us to be able to give a customer a return that is higher than maybe 18% or slightly above that, then it means we have to price our financing a little bit higher, so that we're able to get a return for ourselves and also a return to the investor. Therefore, we benchmark in the market, and also we look at CBK regulatory framework on how it's able to do the pricing in itself.
Something very important that you've mentioned is that Islamic banking is not cheap, it's fair. And that is a very important distinction to make. And as we even look into that, Hamed, we have a few minutes left, and I'm sure I can give you gentlemen a minute and a half each. When it comes to investment, this is another part of Islamic banking, not necessarily borrowing. How exactly do you advise your customers on investing their money? What are some of the packages that you can give?
As I mentioned earlier, I think as a market, we have very few investment options. And that is being looked at from our regulatory and other participants. So in terms of investment, most of the investment within banks, we do, we ask to do what we call mudaraba deposits. So it's like they share, if you have I don't want to call it idle cash, but you don't have cash that you don't have immediate use for it.
Right.
At your disposal. You give to us.
Right.
So we give to, we finance whoever wants to, maybe to get into business. When they share with us profit, then we share with them. So we give them an indicative rate.
Right.
That this is you given as 500,000. So it depends on the tenure and the amount.
Right.
So that will be what will be on the convention side, the equivalent of maybe fixed deposit. So we have those arrangements. So as a bank, we also do placements with other Sharia compliant banks.
Right.
So that those are the investment vehicles we have, so that when we get a return on that, then we can also be able to share with our investors, our customers, because the relationship between Islamic banking customers and bank and the customer is not a lender-borrower relationship.
Right.
We are partners. We are participants. We participate in an investment. When you participate, when you partner with me to do a business, you expect returns out of it.
Right.
So we do not take all of it of our own. So we share with our customers what the surplus on the arrangement that we have with them prior to that, according to the contract that we have with them.
Right, it's a partnership.
Yes, it
That is the most important
Yes.
aspect. It's a partnership.
Yes.
Now, Swale, maybe as we start to conclude, KCB is offering competitive, packages for its customers. Where is the future of Islamic banking in KCB?
Oh, wow. The future is bright.
Right.
Or above we'll go above the sky. The sky could not be the limit.
Yes.
Because actually we have aligned a lot of products that are coming to the market. I would not like to say them here right now, but I know they'll hear in the market.
Right.
Actually, and the future is very bright. And we are bringing on board quite a number of products that we shall be launching in the near future for our customers.
Right.
And even KCB Sahel Banking is opening quite a number of branches that are going to be specifically for we call them Sahel centers.
Right.
And even tomorrow we are opening one
Yes,
at,
one.
at
BBS
Isili,
Mall.
at
Right.
BBS Mall,
Right.
exclusively for Sahel, but is open for every customer who comes in.
All right.
Therefore, when we talk about the future for KCB Sahel Banking, is very bright, and actually we are bringing on board quite a number of customers who are serious and are having a very large book, and also we are also rolling out even the training courses for our staff, so that they're able to, I think, on in-learning basis, so that they're able to equip them with skills and knowledge to be able to meet the customer needs that they require.
Very
Therefore, I might say that the plan that we have, it's very great, and we are going to conquer the market as never before.
Right, fantastic. Hamid, any final sentiments?
Look, I have close to 7 or 8 billion to finance customers between now and this.
Right, you have the money.
I have the money. I want to partner with them. I want to support their businesses. What could be any other better thing than that? Because now people are really struggling in terms, how do I make my business better and bigger? I'm calling them to come on board. We have around 7+ billion between now and December. What will happen next year? God knows. It will be much, much bigger. The allocation for us will be bigger to support them. So I have to ask them to come on board and enjoy our services. I will promise them to give them in-class service to ensure that everything, the assurance that all our products are Sharia compliant.
Right.
Yes.
Hamid and Swale are saying that the money is there. If you require financing, it's just you to walk into, any of their branches to claim this money and this partnership. With that, we conclude this topic. We have been talking about Islamic financing. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, we will be having an even more interesting topic that we can look into. But for now, it's good night from me. My name is Hiba Saeed.